Welcome back to Savage. What we're doing today. Today we are going to make some headstock sleeves for the south bend over there, the south bend 11-inch. Because I haven't got any. These are the sleeves for my 9-inch. They're a protector sleeve. So if you put a Morse taper bit in the headstock, because it's precision ground, that you will not spin them and damage the nicely ground internal taper inside the headstock. So therefore you use these sleeves. Now I'm going to have to make some on the 11-inch. Here is the so luckily I've got this. It's the original collet holder for it, and that's the section here that we want. Sorry, between the Morse taper 3 and the Morse taper 4, and we're also not 100% sure, or actually the angle, the taper foot business is exactly the same as a Morse taper 3. So the easiest thing to do is just copy it directly from the spindle, and we'll be using the taper attachment for that. And to set it, headstock is here. It will be going tapering in towards the headstock if we're making it this way. So to be able to do it like that, so I come up with a little plan. We've got this little blank here, but chuck is here. We need to taper it towards the chuck, and so the diameter here needs to be smaller, obviously, than it is over here, because otherwise we can't finish the taper. So what we'll do is we'll mount this on this solid pin here. It's a bit of stainless, it's stiff enough. So we'll drill a hole in that, we'll ream it out, and I'll turn this down a little bit, and then we mount it on here like a popsicle, like a lollipop, and then we can cut this taper. So we did use the taper attachment before, but that was just for a decorative piece, you know, it didn't really matter too much. So this time we'll be spending a good bit of time dialing it in so that the taper attachment runs absolutely through with the spindle, and it just takes time to set it up. Press this pin on after I turn it down a bit, and I'll probably give it an interference fit of about 0.5 thousandths or something like that, so it's not too tight, because we need to knock it back out again afterwards to then bore the internal taper to a Morse taper 2. So that'll be the inside diameter, and the outside diameter taper will be this. When you make a slight mistake on a taper and you correct it, or you go a bit too deep, it will shoot in quite a lot, you know. An error on the diameter of 1 or 2 thousandths will make you the usable space that you want to use, the part that you want to use out of the taper, it'll move that about 10 thousandths. So therefore we'll leave it a bit too long at both ends, because this is only short, but we can have it a little bit sticking out, and then we'll get our usable section what we want. We'll decide that afterwards. Right, so this is the taper that we need to make. That's the collet holder, and we're just going to copy directly, set the taper attachment, if you can see it, the taper attachment up facing inwards. So our blank here, we pressed it onto a shaft, so we be cutting the taper towards the chuck. The easiest way to do it. Hi guys, this is sort of my setup to find the absolutely true center height. Rigged up the travel dial here on the milling post, so we can accurately send it up and down. And then I'm going to have a little dial gauge set up here. It's got to be very accurate because I only got about an inch travel here to get this angle dialed in on the taper attachment. So if it goes up and down just a tiny little bit, you're not going to see it, you know, where the true zero is. So here we can do that quite accurately. So if I send them up 50 thousandths down, there we go, and this little one here moves 2 thousandths in a hair. Right, there we go. Back to zero, send them the other way, 50 thousandths. Down. We got 2 thousandths in a hair. So therefore, halfway, it's got to be true, top dead center. So he goes here. So that'll be the center rather. And my dial is back to zero. That's good enough. It's a half thousandths dial, so it's quite accurate. We can do it again. So I'll send this one 50 thousandths down. We've got 2,000, less than 2 thousandths and a half. Send them the other way, another 50 thousandths, the other direction. There we go, 2 thousandths in a hair. So therefore, so this to zero, this one is back to zero. So this is now the perfect center height, where if you're dialing in a taper, it's absolutely critical. So I don't rely on the tailstock for that. It's got to be better than that, especially because I only got about an inch travel. I can't even do the whole length of the tape, taper. So let's see how it goes. Next thing is setting the taper attachment. I'll bring you back on that. Right guys, I think we got it. The taper is running parallel with the spindle now. It's half a thousandths dial indicator, so it's quite accurate. So we've got to go back quite a bit to get the taper attachments to take up all the slop. You've got to go quite a lot back and then forward again. So if we now come up here, help him in. Yep, he's on zero. That's lovely. He stays on zero all the way. Is bird nesting a bit, but I don't care. The finish is not bad. We'll just carry on. We'll just measure it. Another 50 thousandths to go. feels good. Yeah, it is good. If it sticks, or just a quick little shove like that, that's a good sign. So that is quite good. Right, now some clever sparks. Let's put a filing cabinet behind the lathe, so we can't put our ramrod in there. We'll have to have a ramrod in 2 pieces, so I'll bring you back in a minute. Right, so the part is finished, on the outside anyway. We have to reset the taper attachment to do the Morse taper 2 on the inside, because it's a slightly different angle to a Morse taper 3. And since that was going so well, we are going to make 2 more blanks. One, I might make a soft center out of it in one go, and then afterwards that'll be part 2. We'll be boring the inside to a Morse taper 2. To check that the taper is the correct angle, you can do it with blue, but also what you can do is you can get a tiny piece of soldering wire, hang it on your part like so, stick it in there, in. So mark it. Obviously it hasn't got in as far now. So it'll squeeze it like plastic gauge. So done. Now you can measure it. Okay, now we go here. Just call it 2. The number is arbitrary. You can go a little bit more forward. 2. 2. We go to the end. There you go. Still 2. So it's squeezed totally parallel, what means that the taper is correct. Okay, thanks very much.